Hello everybody, welcome to the video on Rebels. This is a mono white Rebels deck, largely based on the pre-constructed deck, which was my very first pre-constructed Magic product, essentially my very first more or less serious deck in Magic in the year 2000. And we are going to take a look at some of the cards, talk about Rebels, which is a unique archetype. And then we're going to see this deck in action in the Forge app. So, first of all, the mana base. Rebels are very mana hungry. That's why I have got a ton of lands. In this case, we've got 24 lands. This is what I decided to go with. And well, there is a very important reason for me loving this deck so much. As I said, it was my very first pre-constructed product. Before that, I only bought a 2-player starter from the 6th edition, but that was obviously not enough to put together a deck which would be more or less viable. And the fact that I bought this Mercadian Masques pre-constructed deck, how did I buy it? Just by reading the blurb on the back of the deck box. There were just some Mercadian Masques pre-constructed in the shop that I went to, and probably thanks to that I'm still playing Magic and I'm still interested in it, because all of the other pre-constructed decks that I bought later were absolutely terrible and I never won a single game with them. And this losing streak really made me lose interest in Magic, but it was after I purchased this product and was even able to beat some of the guys who had not a $10 deck but probably a $100 deck, and this was very important. This was just beginner's luck. I didn't have the internet access back then. You know, the closest that I had to that was asking my dad, who had the internet at work, to download some of the deck lists and some of the web pages where people just discussed metagame and Magic in general. But yeah, there was no rampant trading scene. It was really difficult to get a card that you wanted to get, even if you did have enough money for it, which wasn't the case for me, as I was saying. And I was only 13 back then when this set was the main set. I mean, when we had Nemesis, Prophecy, I started playing at Prophecy. And it's just so happened, as I said, that I bought this pre-constructed deck and it was surprisingly viable, you know, because there were no, I would say, wrong threats. There is no such thing as a wrong threat, mostly, right? But the answers when you're trying to play some control deck can definitely be wrong. It requires some skill, it requires some good mana base. So, I mean, that an aggro deck, and especially a mono white aggro deck, is just more of a straightforward thing, I would say. So yeah, there's a little bit long introduction to that, but yeah, if we look at Rebels, once again, what do they do? So the special thing about Rebels is that they basically circumvent all of the proper, I would say, rules for playing creatures in Magic, because number one, they allow you to tutor for a Rebel card. So this basically contributes to the deck thinning, I would say, concept. Also, it allows you to play a Rebel card as an instant, which means that they will be uncounterable. Also, your opponent, when they're attacking you, doesn't even know what kind of cards you are going to have by the end of this combat phase. Yeah, of course, so the tutoring part always meant that you would start with the lowest creature, but then you would be able to expand into that. I didn't really grasp that concept too well back when I was a kid, but I already searched as sorcery, much to my shame, and it was still good. You know, it still was able to do something. So me actually competing against those big guys who had those powerful decks, it was really inspiring that, you know, I felt that I could play and not be a terrible loser, which I became later when I was purchasing some very bad ill-advised decks, so to say. So yeah, getting back to this Rebels deck, again, as you can see, there is one extra mana of a cost. So if you, for example, use this bird and you search for a Rebel card, you pay 4, but the converted mana cost is 3 or less. And you know, it's not that big of a deal. Again, as you can see here, this mana is colorless, so technically it can be combined with other colors. I've heard of a Rebel Burn deck, which was actually the recommendation in this original pre-constructed deck to add red. Never did that. And another interesting archetype was Counter Rebels, which sounds a bit crazy. Maybe we'll revisit this archetype once. But the idea is that you would be able to search for rebels as an instant. There would be this controlish elements, and there would be blue for counter magic. Yeah, so basically this guy is just strictly worse than the bird because, well, he doesn't fly. 1 point of toughness doesn't matter. But what's very important, I didn't have this card, of course, in my pre-constructed deck, but the very important card and one of the very rare occurrences where a creature was banned. I mean, back then in the year 2000 it was very rare for a creature to be banned, because yeah, it is a utility creature, but it looks like rebels were quite ubiquitous back then. So number one, it didn't have the extra cost of 1 mana. And number 2, as you can see, they could basically reanimate those rebels even without tapping. So you could basically put them on the bottom of your library, which meant that it could be searched for again. So yeah, there were all kinds of shenanigans with that. Yeah, and also, if we talk about rebels that are able to search for the others, the last one would be this guy. I actually had more, but yeah, here I just felt like having this 3/3 flying guy. And yeah, it's not that we can search for a lot of cards with mana cost 6. There were some huge rebels, but don't have them here in this particular iteration of the deck. Next, in addition to the tutoring rebels, because again, really the only tutoring rebels that you need would be this guy, who would fetch this one, and this one would fetch Linsivy. And some people even don't say that Premodern Sergeant is important, because yeah, the bird and this guy would essentially get us Linsivy, and after that it will all happen by itself. So yeah, as I was saying, the non-tutoring rebels are these guys. Absolutely love this card. It has vigilance. I don't know, it's just so funny. I really like the picture here, and you know, it looked pretty good. It looked like a pretty good deal to me back then, for 2 white mana, 2/2 vigilance. Yeah, I know, but it is what it is, and to me it wasn't that bad back then. Next, you know, if your opponent is playing black or red, which is not a good sign for rebels normally, you would actually be able to capitalize on these 2 colors being the enemies of white. And we have got these 2 guys. Essentially, they are the 2-card cycle that remove target black creature from the game or remove target red creature from the game. Yeah, so there is a little bit of a delay, of course, that would happen. But again, if we do this at the end of your turn, and then you would be able to activate that, it's very nice. And then you can bring this back to life with Linsivy, and yeah, depending on how much mana you have, you would actually be able to do quite a lot of bad things for your opponent. So, you know, this idea of creatures as spells didn't really, I mean, it did exist, but it wasn't so important. Yeah, we had this Necrotal, we had some other Man of War, for example, cards that did something when they entered into play. Here it's not the case of them entering into play, but again, they have some pretty nice abilities. Yeah, so these guys, absolutely love them. I love you know, Mercadian Masques and its lore. I know it's not a popular blog, but for me it was pretty nice. You know, there's something similar to the modern Kaladesh, a little bit, not the same thing, of course, but in some way it is similar. So yeah, 2/1 flying protection from black and from red. It's not terrible, and it gives you evasion, which is important. Next card, this one is quite interesting because you know, when I was 13, my English was not that good. I didn't really understand the difference between the passive and the active voice. And here it says, when pies were is dealt combat damage, you gain that much life. And I thought that it meant when pies were deals combat damage. And again, why not? Because when it deals combat damage, that would essentially be the same as Spirit Link. And this was a well-known effect for me. But yeah, is it better? Is it worse? Maybe it's even a little bit better. It depends, really. But sometimes, yeah, you would be able to surprise your opponent and get some extra life with that. Next, we have got this one. Didn't really use it much. You know, maybe we will be able to see it in action. But here it says that the next time target attacking creature would deal combat damage to Shield Dancer, it deals that damage to itself instead. The problem is that it is quite costly, right? So again, if your opponent knows that you have this card, they would be able to somehow outmaneuver you and probably will avoid the situation when that would be very relevant. And if you want to surprise them with you searching for this card and actually playing it, I think this is just too expensive. That's 6 mana, right? So 3 mana or even 4 mana, depending on which card you're using. Maybe it's not Linsivy, maybe it's one of those guys, then yeah, it's even worse. But of course, if you manage to pull it off, it will be very rewarding. It's a nice effect. Next thing, a very interesting one. I personally did use it a couple of times when I was playing. This Réveil Squad for 4 mana 3/3, not terrible for rebels. And when you're attacked, if they are untapped, you may untap all creatures you control. What does it mean? It means that you attack, then you will be able to use these guys to untap. And, you know, it really depends on how you're able to do that. But this can be a surprise for your opponent. Maybe they think that they are attacking for the win, but no, you will be untapping all of your guys. And of course, with untap, there comes even more opportunity to search for rebels. And yeah, it's just a nice thing. And I mean, the flavor is good here. The card is not terribly overcosted as it was often the case with those older cards. So overall, it's a pretty nice one, I would say. One more guy. So when blocks at the end of combat, destroy it and all creatures it blocked this turn. Is it like Abu Jafar? I think Abu Jafar is a bit different because here it says it blocked this turn, yeah? So not if it is blocked by your opponent's creature. So yeah, not exactly the same, and well, never really liked that card. Unlike this very, very important guy, Chamano Revolutionary. So he is just invincible, right? It's such an impressive card, as I thought. 2/2 for 4 mana, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. And yeah, he was legendary, which is important. I also like the art. There were a lot of things. Again, there's Greg and Tim Hiddlebrand, as I have just noticed. So no wonder the art is absolutely gorgeous and so very well conveying this meaning of fantasy, this atmosphere, a beautiful thing. But again, as I was saying, yeah, Tremendous Revolutionary would just block your opponent's attacker and they will be able to do nothing against that. So yeah, as for non-creatures, we have got some utility cards. Some of them I did play, but then some of them I added later, and to be honest with you, some of them are just a replacement of the cards that I don't have now. Yeah, so first of all, this card, yeah, at some point in time I did play it. It's pretty bad. So creature loses all abilities and is a 0/1 creature until end of turn. So yeah, think humility. Again, humility gives you 1/1 creatures instead of 0/1, but it's not that it matters. The thing is that, yeah, your opponent is essentially attacking, you're making it this humble creature, and yeah, I don't know, it's an ugly solution. I never liked it. It's not a good card at all. I basically very often used not pacifism but arrest from Mercadian Masques. 3 mana, cannot block or attack, and cannot activate the ability. So this is what happens to the creature if you put it there. Yeah, next, so I did have several crusades back then, and I had some other ways to boost my creatures. But yeah, here I have got only one beautiful copy of Crusade. I might actually consider selling it, just seeing how expensive it is, and trading it for something less complex. And yeah, here we have got Shared Triumph. Of course, I didn't play Shared Triumph back then. Instead, I played, as I said, Crusades. It's just that I don't want to move my Crusades around from old school into Premodern. You know, 2 different worlds. These things should never mix, as I believe. Then another card that I actually did not have, but introduced later on, is Worship. So yeah, Worship, of course, is one of those very interesting cards that is not very easy to deal with. Yeah, essentially this is this Ally from Cairo effect, but if pretty much any deck has a way of removal, it can deal with some creature that your opponent controls, then not everybody has a way of dealing with Worship, which is an enchantment. However, we of course understand that in order for this card to work, there should be some creatures, and yeah, board wipes are actually quite common in some colors, so perhaps it's not that big of a deal, but we'll see when we're going to be looking at the games in Forge soon. And finally, we have got 3 Disenchants. So yeah, Disenchants just in case. It's just such a good card. So there it is, once again, Rebels, deck that I really, really like, a deck that really gives me some fond memories about my very, very first months of playing Paper Magic. And now let's see how this deck performs in the pre-modern environment now. So before we go to the games, let me remind you that there is the Patreon page for this channel, link in the description, and you can either choose the uncommon tier, your name and the credits. This is to support the channel, and your support is highly appreciated. Or you can even go for the rare tier, and in that case, we'll make a custom video. It will either be deck tech and maybe some video of me playing the deck that you want me to, or perhaps some other topic, either from Old School Magic or Premodern. And let me remind you that we've got our current goal, 10 patrons in 2024, and we're currently at rank 3, which is if before free, not that bad, but we will certainly get to Leviathan with your help. I know we can do it. So to see what this deck is capable of, let's first pit it against a Dead Guy Ale deck. I'm afraid that it's going to work quite well, but what do you know? We'll see. I kept an absolutely terrible and non-viable hand, but I guess that would even make it more interesting, because the question is, can our opponent beat 3 worships? And probably can. There's a lot of removal. So okay, here's the first one, Diabolic Edict, and here's one more creature from us, and one more removal from our opponent, naturally. What about one more? Do we have one more removal? Yeah, always plenty of removal. You can count on that. So that guy Ale is actually quite good against the decks that have... Oh wait, we've got a protection from Black Guy, which is nice. And there is Jared's Verdict. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, Dead Guy Ale, or pretty much any white and black deck, is usually quite good against the decks that have got a lot of creatures. So there's some very good permanent removal. And you know, it always made me think, because yeah, there is this discard, but what my idea is that essentially any kind of removal can come a little bit too late. So for example, it can come after you have activated the Enter into battlefield trigger. It sometimes can be just too late for removal. On the other hand, discard can come too early, so you may just want to cast Duress, but your opponent doesn't have the card that you fear just yet. But, you know, counter magic always comes in time. So this is what I've been thinking, actually. So quite an interesting idea, isn't it? And let's see. So the good thing is that I don't think that there is any kind of mass removal. Yeah, of course it is an Exalted Angel. And let's see here. So the problem is that, yes, we do have Worship, but Worship can easily get destroyed. I can start attacking even, maybe. Yeah, why don't I start attacking? Or maybe I can just double block. If I double block, I will get rid of 2 creatures I have, which is pretty terrible. Oh, I don't know. But we cannot let our opponent gain life, because gains life. Would that be activated? Reduces, yeah, I don't think it prevents damage. Yeah. Whoa, I don't know. Really, really tricky. Really, really tricky. Okay, let's wait until we have more creatures. At least some rebel that can search some creatures. And we don't want to give our opponent unlimited life, you know. Okay, at least this guy can search for other rebels. Oops! Okay. So now I guess we must block, right? Yeah, I should have done that earlier. But the question is, did we already lose? Or is there still a chance? This guy is 3/3. Nantucket Shade. Right. Yeah, that's far from great. Far from great. So let's see. Right, of course, of course. Now, yeah, I think we must first block. And then, can we declare blockers and cast a guy while we're blocking? Is it even possible? Wait. Can we try to activate all of that? No, it doesn't matter, because if blockers aren't declared, then it would be too late. Yeah, we cannot assign new blockers, can we? Right. So, yeah, it's quite a conundrum. Well, I don't know. Maybe it actually works. Maybe it actually works. So, activate this. Get this guy. Can we still block? No? No, we can't block. Okay, too late. Too late. Yeah, silly me. Okay then. So yeah, that was a terrible hand. I just wondered how it would fare, but you know, worship is not that ultimate silver bullet, especially against that deck. And now look, this card is getting bothersome, really. Yeah, don't have any hope of casting the big guys, I guess, anytime soon. So give me at least the... Yeah, that's true, there are no cards you could discard with duress. Maybe went a bit overboard with this discard. But again, our opponent basically has everything, right? This is so annoying. Removal for this, removal for that, discard, creature removal, enchantment removal, everything really. And look, there is this smart creature type selection, really nice, because it understood that we have a lot of rebels, so it automatically prompted rebels, which is nice. You don't have to manually select the card type. And meanwhile, we're actually attacking for not an insignificant amount of damage. Oops, skipped combat phase. Was a bit too fast. And there's one more shared triumph, why not? Okay, so did we actually get lucky? Okay, we did get lucky, look. What happened? That one colorless... No. I mean, Play only if you control a swamp. Yeah, no, that's true, that's true, yeah. So, you know, I always mix these up because they look kind of similar. Yeah, the thing is that our opponent cannot activate this because there is no swamp. So, yeah, you know, it was fun while it lasted, but we can play one more guy. You know, without the tutoring rebels, life is not so fun. And, okay, we're attacking for 4. And here is a hippie, but I wouldn't think we might get the benefit. Hooray! So, got damaged. Dealt combat damage, you gain that much life. There is 2 damage amount to... Yeah, okay, perfect. Very nice, very nice. And Nantaku Shade. Okay. So, essentially this will be just a chum blocker. Just a chum blocker. So good. Yeah. You know, I wanted to disenchant that, but on the other hand, maybe I should play disenchant right now. Or maybe we should enjoy our opponent just destroying himself with that. Would be fun. Hooray, we've got 2 disenchants. Ooh, one more. Breaks in the arena. Certainly doesn't hurt. Okay, so let's go for the 3rd game. Should I keep that? Yeah, I will keep. At least we have got a tutoring rebel now. 2 wastelands that are completely useless against me. Yeah, we'll start with this guy. Again, as I was saying, this was the really first constructed deck that I bought, and back then I understood that there are no wrong threats, you know. So clearly remember, like, one guy was really annoyed that me, an absolute noob, was just destroying him with these rebels because, yes, they are creatures, they can attack, they can do something, right? And okay, so Exalted Angel is gone. And what did he eat? What did he eat? Okay. I kind of missed that, but that's fine. No, even with 2 mana, we can be just attacking. And with 3 mana, it's even better. I'm not even going to cast Linsivy. I mean, yeah, we just have a lot of attackers. Even though they're weenies, but still good. Okay, so good game, I think. Let's try something more dangerous, I guess. Sly. So we'll play against Sly. Sly has very good burn and probably better creatures than what we have. So let's see how it would actually work. Okay, so there is a shock, you know. I don't mind that as long as we're trading 1 for 1. When it comes to such things as Cursed Scroll, I'm a little bit more hesitant. Okay. Because Cursed Scroll is something that can be activated multiple times. Oh no. Okay, so started destroying my rebels. And, oh, it's not even useful to cast that. You know, Cursed Scroll is really a problem. It really is a problem. Okay, what can we do? We can wait for the 3 disenchants that we have. I don't know. Just looks terrible for me, really. It looks terrible. Okay. Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal. Yeah, what can be done here? I'm afraid nothing, really. And just hope to attack. I mean, the biggest problem, of course, is that this is a red source of damage and it's too late. Or is it? Did we actually win? Because look, I'm whining and complaining here. Yeah. What was that? Oh, here's Worship. Worship saved us. Oh, okay. That was quite unexpected, I guess. Yeah, because what can you do against Worship in a mono red deck, right? It's not that this deck was playing Disc, I guess. I don't even know. In old school, we've got Chaos Orb. But again, this idea is very, very strong. The idea is that red is not able to deal with enchantments in any way. Why? Because enchantments are very, abstract. They're not material. Red is good at smashing things and, of course, killing, but cannot deal with this abstract nature of enchantments. Okay, so there's Incinerate. Oh, don't remember this art. I guess this is some promo, right? Okay. So, Volcanic Hammer, a ton of burn. When I'm playing this, I feel like building this deck myself. Because I actually do have the components for it. Most of them, at least. It's a nice deck, I like it. So, for 3 mana... Well, can we get smart here and cast Sulfuric Vortex? I mean, destroy Sulfuric Vortex after it has damaged our opponent? Maybe. Okay, here's Jackal Pump. Right. Yeah, so we're getting dangerously low. 7, then we have 2. Well, I think it's still not too late. I will pump the Rebel once more. Okay, and that's it. We won. Maybe not really a deserved win, but there it is. And finally, let's play against the Rock. Cannot play Cabal Therapy. Yeah, I guess that's fine. So, again, we understand that this deck shouldn't normally win against some of the decks that we're playing against, but here it is. So there's Diabolic Edict, and this was a cycling of the Tusker. It's, I guess, rather okayish. And here is the bird from us. Smother the bird. Again, this 1-for-1 removal doesn't necessarily mean that our opponent is getting ahead, because in order to properly do this 1-for-1, yeah, here's Pernicious Deed, that's a different thing. But in order to do this 1-for-1 thing, you should make sure that you've got some card advantage, otherwise you will just run out of removal too soon. So okay, he did blow up Pernicious Deed, which is pretty terrible for me. And now I will just play Worship, I guess. Pernicious Deed is an amazing card. I clearly remember how I played it. Recurring Nightmare is a very cool thing here. So, reanimated the Tusker. This is insane. Okay then. Duress. And there's also Blastoderm from our opponent. Well, I don't think I can get out of that. Can we search for this Shield Dancer, eh? Yeah, I think we can finally do that. So we cannot target Blastoderm. So we'll have to maybe chump block, I don't know. But I finally hope that we will be able to deal with Shield Dancer. Not deal, I mean, we will be able to use him. Okay, so here is... I think Shield Dancer is 3 mana, right? Yeah. 3 mana is correct, I think. So, where is Shield Dancer? Shield Dancer is here, okay. Alright. Then, so should I block Blastoderm with my Chum blocker? No, I don't think so. Yeah, okay, here is what I'm going to do. So block that and activate this ability. And Tusker just kills himself. Oh no, not Pernicious Deed, not this time. Whoa, this is getting really, really bad. So we've got one turn. We gotta make it count. Because our opponent will blow up everything after the attack, I guess. So then Blastoderm gets destroyed. Blastoderm is a beast, so he can easily eat the beast with Ravenous Baloth. And yeah, there isn't much that can be done. And if we do that in response, we are still going to lose those creatures to Pernicious Deed. Well, okay then. I guess there isn't anything we can do. But okay, let's see. Maybe our opponent has different plans. Attack with both. Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. At least I'm going to find this warrior. It will give me some... Yeah, silly me, you know. I should have tutored for the big guy that cost 5, but the opponent would still be able to destroy that, right? Oh, okay, I think this would be a fair... Oh, no. X equals 7. You know, so going for the win here. Yeah. Okay, total board wipe. Total board wipe. Perhaps I should have activated Lincivi and put some rebels on the bottom of the deck. But that's fine. So at least we have got Disenchant, but our opponent probably has some big creatures. Yeah, here's the Baloth. And here's the Recurring Nightmare with Tusker. Whoa. That is brutal, really. And I've got no choice but to chump block. And here is Recurring Nightmare again. And here is this guy who will prevent damage. And wait, I can actually destroy Recurring Nightmare before it's too late. Okay, so yeah, he is invincible. But we need 2 of these, which is not gonna happen. Yeah. Doesn't attack, why not? That's a bit weird. Shared Triumph. Rebels again. Alright, get rid of that. Okay, here is finally a tutoring rebel. So things are picking up. Oh, but Shamanu is gone. Now we must jump block again, right? So 2-1 and 2-2. That's just too slow. Okay. Yeah, of course that would be nice to double block this guy, but yeah, we must jump block. Okay. And that's it. So we lost that game. Let's play one more. Can we do anything with this hand? Technically we can, but let's see. You know, just pushing our luck here again. Removal? Not yet. And here is one more tutoring rebel, the best kind. So, cycling Tusker. Maybe it's just better to attack now. Okay. Can easily raise the opponent here. Maybe attack with both. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, here's Blastoderm, but doesn't look that bad. Doesn't look that bad. We've got some powerful guys. I think it's time to search for flyers. Because what can we do against Blastoderm? Maybe we can get this guy that would be able to block and give us life, but on the other hand... Okay, yeah, I think I will just pass. Okay, he didn't attack actually. One more Blastoderm. So, end of turn, we will search for the big flying rebel. I'm referring to the Marshal. Where is the Marshal? Here it is. Okay. So yeah, we're assembling a pretty good flying army now. Well, I actually think we can easily attack with those. And smothering him, that's alright. Yeah, I think we won this one. So we'll get Thermal Glider. Whoa, this is some kind of a Blastoderm Flood. And the final game with our Rebels deck. Let's see. We can do better than the first game. Don't have any Rebels to tutor. Now. I mean, except for this. Oh, no, this is not that guy that is tutoring. But, you know, finally, I've been able to activate Shield Dancer. That's really interesting. Never been able to do so on paper. So here's the Tusker cycled again. And yeah, things are a little bit too slow, I will be honest with you. Don't have a lot of mana. So just really some kind of stagnation here. So what can we do against Blastoderm? Because it's just guaranteed 10 points of damage. Need one more mana to use the Shumano. Okay, I'll have to let it slide. There is Spiritmonger. That is really, really fearsome. Yeah, it's not looking good at all. But wait, I could have done that, but Spiritmonger can regenerate for just one. You know, Spiritmonger was one of those first cards when we understood that, you know, this colors really, really make it powerful, meaning that this is a multicolored card, and being multicolored is a disadvantage by itself. It requires a lot of commitment. So these particular colors, you know, he's just too good, just too many abilities. So 6/6 for 5 mana only, quite splashable. Regeneration for 1, changing the color. Again, this color change is not that relevant nowadays, but yeah, it's pretty powerful. On the other hand, let's not forget that we've got a protection from Black Guy. So we really hope we will be able to do something. And he actually didn't use the color changing ability, which would have been relevant, but just didn't think of that, you know. Yeah, I will block. Okay, here's Baloth. Decided to eat him. And here's Tusker. So yeah, we've got our good weapon against the Tusker. Just 1 mana short, unfortunately. Alright. Didn't eat the Tusker for some reason with Baloth. Yeah, I will block again. You know, we need to start to expand. Recurring Nightmare will destroy that. Wait, what was that? One more Recurring Nightmare? Yeah. Okay. Or was it? No, that's right. It's just the second Recurring Nightmare copy. Okay, then. So what can we do? Yeah, we can search for one more guy like that. We can do the Shield Dancer trick. But we finally should start attacking, because sooner or later our opponent will cast the inevitable Recurring Nightmare. I mean, Pernicious Deed, sorry. Recurring Nightmare as well, but not that scary. So, yeah, what can I do here? Yeah, it's time to tutor for more powerful rebels. 4 mana. Get this guy. And here's Pernicious Deed. Oh, no, 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 no. You know, somehow I don't feel that terrible, but it still hurts. Especially because I'm not able to do anything here. So 3 and 2. Well, maybe this and this. Yeah, I will have both, of course. Why not? Yeah, we'll double block and thus get rid of the Tusker. The problem is that our opponent simply has more powerful creatures than we do. And what should we do now? We should find Lin CV. Something we should have done much earlier. And there is still hope. There is still hope. Of course, when Pernicious Deed comes into play and our opponent has a ton of mana to destroy the creatures of mana cost 3, wouldn't be difficult at all. So disenchant wouldn't help. That's quite important to understand. Well, okay, I'm not attacking. Probably should have attacked with this guy, but that's fine. Okay, end of turn. So I will search for who is the biggest creature that we have. Against Sky Marshal, probably 3/3 flying. So yeah, I think we will do that for 5 mana. And the Sky Marshal is here again. And I think I'll attack with both. Maybe even cast Worship to boot. Okay, neutralize it. Duress. Yeah, get rid of the disenchant. And for 4 mana, I will search for a creature with 2 power. This is as much as we can get, really. Maybe this guy. Yeah, this one is alright. But wait, did we win? Yep, we did. 10 matches in a row. Yeah, so that's Forge for you. Thank you for watching. We will definitely have some more Premodern and not only Premodern games. And I will see you soon. Bye.